from December 18th. You have a chance to read them yet? You just going to make a motion to approve?
I'd like to make amendments to the minutes and comments that I had at the December 18th meeting.
Well, you can make a motion with those amendments if you can.
Okay. My motion is to amend the minutes for December 18th. Community Preservation Chairman Sherry Ellis reported to the committee at a recent community committee meeting, comments from the chairman of the Board of Selectmen at a televised meeting. An option for wastewater funding repurpose of 3% in the CPA Act for a period of 10 years. And that's what I had stated for last meeting. I would like that entered into the minutes for this meeting. And my point is, this is one of the options that we have on wastewater revenue options. And I think that we should be discussing all these issues as we go forward, relative to how we're going to pay for these wastewater projects. We have quite a few options, and I think that going out for education is fine. First thing people are going to ask is, what is it going to cost? And how we're going to pay for it. So I think we should be prepared for that. And that's why I think this information should be constant, fluid within our minutes. Just so if someone wanted to check them online, they would see what we do. Simple as that.
Second those minutes as amended.
Second.
Any more discussion on the minutes? Comments, additions? All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Would you like to copy this, Mr. Chairman, or how? Put it into the recording. Thank you. Okay, I guess the next thing is the Board of Selectmen update presentation.
Mr. Chairman, we are on the agenda for January 29th. We have a meeting right at the Apple, but my plan was to present to you some suggestions tonight, which is on this one pager here. And I anticipated that I would put together a PowerPoint presentation from which to speak from. But that agenda and the information contained on there is really up to you and how you want to approach this, and also the approach. How would you like to have it presented? Would you like to participate? Would the chairman like to do it? Would you like staff to lead it? Would with certain people presenting as well? That's what we want. I'm not sure if Dave was planning on being there or if would like him to be there. So all that's open for discussion tonight. We can work and get that finalized and drafted, get it out to you well in advance for final discussion on the 22nd, so that by the 29th we're ready to go. So I would envision something like this that we have to summarize, condense. But each of these items would be a slide, and associated with some of this information, for example, under number 2, current planning efforts. Why are we doing this? We've got a good handout that we've talked about, and so to the extent we have relevant handouts, I would put that together with the selectmen's packet. And so they would have the information that you've been seeing be updated to them at that time. Also, for example, the phasing plan, those suggestions would be a map that we would hand out.
Has the selectmen received any of the information that we have?
No. They will receive this week.
I think that's an important part of it, so they can either ask intelligent questions or get their questions answered just by reading. It should make that easy.
So the normal course of things would be that so Wednesday or Thursday before their Tuesday date, they receive their packet, in which all this information will be included. That's another discussion point, I can time this so that they can get it earlier, if that's what you wanted them to do.
I'm also concerned about the rest of it, but I think that report going out to them sooner rather than later, because it's
That's on the list of
That's up
things
to
to
you,
get
I'll
done.
give that to them, knowing too, that's okay, but I think just the economic, impact reports, before any gets seen.
A lot of these things, the other thing, as far as the phasing, that is a little bit different, but they've seen it before, so it shouldn't be totally brand new. But they've seen, it's the same plan more or less, and we had to discuss it.
Yeah, it really isn't a lot different, I mean, other than South Shore Drive, I think most of the first phase is tied into the flow going to Dennis as opposed to going to Boston, or going to Buckeye.
So, if I could walk through this relatively quickly, see if there are any comments.
I do have one thing before you maybe see it, but, you should probably slide on the membership of
As far as
who's on the. Oh, yeah. Yep. Staff, support.
So the first slide was, we'll do the committee membership first, and then we'll talk about what we've been doing. Talk about the first meeting, talk about how many we've had, what we've been part of. I'll remind you that everything's up on the YouTube page, the website. And give them a link. Part of this, I'm just talking about, this is really the first in a series of outreach, right? So once we've updated the second, then hopefully it then gives us the green light to go out and do some outreach. So to the extent we have some materials that I can embed into the presentation, as well as some links that do that. So YouTube and the website, I'll put as links, materials, so that you know, finding them online and then put them as well. We can also, by the way, we'll start putting this out on Facebook page. We haven't done much of that yet. We've been getting up to speed. But now that we have this update, we'll have materials for the update. Once we get that, we can get that on Facebook as well.
That's the most generally, yeah,
The main point of this was kind of let them know that you've been updated on the status of various efforts, related to those efforts, and the things that we considered, and including the financing. And swing into what those current efforts, what those efforts have led up to, and what we're currently looking at. And, why are we doing this? I put that there. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it because I think they're up to speed on that. But we do have a handout on that, and that's where I presented that as a reminder of the nitrogen removal requirements. And that we've been determined quite a while back, and we redetermined that sewering is the most cost-effective solution for this. In addition to those things that we've kind of settled over the years, we have also now added this economic development report, which they have received in advance. And we'll have a few comments, key comments related to that on that slide for that. Then we'll swing into the options that were presented in front of us. This is our Yarmouth only options, our VHY partnership option, and then either of those with a Barnstable option. Just kind of focus their attention as to where we're headed. Probably number 5, I would switch the order a little bit. The recommendation of the phasing plan would probably be the next item. Based on those options, here's our phase 1, and the remaining phases really can be discussed, but we followed the plan that we had in 2016. But the key thing here is to get started, you need to identify a phase 1 that's the near-term item, and it's been modified from the original phase 1, from the phase 1 from the last effort to include South Shore Drive. So that would be a key piece there. notify them that we've identified some high-level timelines. And I'd probably include in there town meeting actions. So we've got some projects, so this is referring to Route 28, road work projects that we'd like to schedule around. We'd like to talk about the outreach plan that we're developing and the timelines associated with that. And I reconfirmed this morning in the meeting with the administration that we are likely looking at a fall town meeting, which we'll probably be discussing on Monday with our DHY meeting. So,
So DHY, I'm sorry, we did the choice of the
it's not for me to decide if that's what it's looking like. And again, to remind you, a couple people up this week. Talk to ask the town to vote to participate in DHY, then to be on the hook for funding and assessment for DHY. We haven't yet also approved a collection system. So we want all these things to be voted in that particular order at town meeting. If you probably vote to say yes to a collection system, then you know you got that, you're gonna vote to do it in DHY.
But we vote for DHY, that's what the correction system is.
Right.
And
Or for something that, but no,
Yeah, right.
Because we got buy-in.
every,
Right. So it wouldn't make sense to say yes to DHY if you're not, have no intention of doing collection. So there's some sequence to that. And also leading up to that would be various funding mechanisms that we want to have in place to accommodate that. So there is a timeline to this. And so there'll be a little bit of discussion of that, but we can put them on notice as to what you're looking at. 6 and 7 may be one series of slides at least. You have to complete the build out flows. And that kind of goes hand in hand with cost recovery. And I just put on here the items that really, practically speaking, what I have to mention. They know there's a menu of options out there. They've heard of the real estate transfer tax. And there's a couple other things, but practically speaking, those are on the table in the near term. We'll reference them, but I don't think we're going to spend a lot of time on them. But to your point, item 7B there is the water infrastructure fund. We will have more discussion on the 22nd after we see the draft. But, there's a need to determine how this committee wants to move forward with proposing that. I think everybody, what I've heard, everybody's on board with proposing the water infrastructure fund. This is 0 to 3% tax into the CPO. I guess my suggestion would be if that's what you think we need to do for funding when we finalize a plan, then that's what we're going to recommend. However, does this committee want to get involved with recommending what ought to happen to CPA? That's my suggestion. This starting point would be, I would suggest what you need for your water infrastructure fund and let the selectmen and the CDC discuss what they want to do with the CPA. Not how this committee get involved in the middle.
I was going to say, no matter what we do, I believe that going into this, that night, we're going to generate more questions than answers. And I think that's part of it. I think what's going to break out of this is what's going to become our duty, what's going to be the selectmen's duty, what's going to be town meeting's duty. And I think the selectmen have to give some guidance where they want us to go. If we can have all the ideas we want, think we're doing the right thing. If they don't like it, it's not going to happen.
So
I think part of what we should expect out of that night is to walk out with some direction and questions that either they need to answer or we need to answer. We need to decide who's responsible.
So that's a big question, and that's where I
Like the rental tax, that's up to them to decide, I think, what level that would be at. But I would imagine staff to figure out the numbers of what percent equals what and where the different ones come from. Because I think the fact that they signed the bill so late has been really confused about, the state gets a full infrastructure fund, and the town gets some money. Is anybody really committed to spending the bulk of it on wastewater or not? There's only small pieces really committed to wastewater. From what I
staff updates, I'll do a brief update on that.
But I know it's really good answers on this. So.
Is it possible to bring a number to get to that meeting on the 29th, and what the initial startup cost is going to be. You know that, Devin?
So that's why I'm probably on Dave's update, you'll have some.
I think that would be true. I'm gonna give you something to work with.
I think for that, you use the updated bill rate. And finalize.
There's still a lot of moving parts.
No, I'm sure.
Right, I mean, I expect it would be that, but I don't want anybody expecting a miracle out of that one night.
Well, and I guess my point was, seems to me, which is why I suggested it, we gotta start updating them regardless of what, you know, there's too many moving parts that
Right.
come together at the end. They kind of need to pick the update with those parts up.
Even if it's just a good packet, I think we need something at least once a month, if not more.
So that's what I just want to make sense of, but I do think that the offset of the CPA money is going to be something that, but at least we've talked about, when we go to the outreach, it's going to be the discussion, I don't think we can, but that's just my own.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of really good. And I think involved in the check process.
We met with Rowland, with Friday, and just a matter of updating them with betterments. And at the moment, based on the direction I got from the committee, and following from these comments on Friday, a still private program. And just to reinforce that, at the moment, what we're considering is a betterment on the basis of flow. And it's hard to exclude anybody. And these comments were, you know, if you wanted it to be available option for future phases as well. So this wasn't just, so that was kind of my understanding of how I would design the program. But what we'd likely do is exclude, you know, hit on the basis of flow, and then just using training, I guess, or not. If 70,000 gallons per year is the average annual flow for a residential loan, you'd at least exclude the first unit, the first 7,000, probably the second. If that's 7,000 is an average, is not above the average. And so if you excluded, say, the first 2 units, you're going to capture those high flow commercial users. But you're going to exclude most residential users. So you could apply that program to phase 1, and any other phase, and if any other phase was exclusively or heavily residential, would be those associated with that. Or you could modify it. So I think we'll have some discussion on that in find points as to who, the direction I got over the last few years in the last efforts was betterment wasn't something that people would want to have on a residential.
Yeah, when we went to that town meeting, you were screaming.
And my understanding was for the commercial users. And so what we're talking about, thinking of devising is to start to do that. There is a betterment, but the low or average residential users would be excluded from it by the program design.
In regards to the betterment, will we use it as the option to pay?
And there's a lot of work we need to do, but the law has changed, so we can set the rates that are more flexible and the other thing that we're discussing is some here, so it's mentioned here as well. Remind everybody at the moment, the program we presented today will have the option to get there. But connection fees are borne by the property. So, an average residential connection fee of $5,000 to $7,000. To ask for a betterment on top of that is a little steep.
There's something to think about though, and maybe what I was told is incorrect, but betterments are financeable, connection fees are not.
Right.
So somebody could charge the betterment and pay it over a different number of 25. You have to have connection fee. It sounds like you're on the hook to figure out how to pay for it right now. So when you call it
that would be coming to someone for like
connection,
yes. Feel like connection costs, the fee is sort of in this number. There are other connection fees out there. So we shouldn't use the term connection.
plus they may have to pay a form as well. Certainly a site contract is tied into the system. Anyway.
But to your point, the last effort, the decision was made to have the town bear connection costs. Increases the cost of what we're trying to do here. That would be an option. See, they would be able to get with the town that
The homeowner agreement? It's not rocket science, it's not essential. I think, homeowners look at it. The amount of companies that we have.
So anyway, yes, that's the discussion that I had with these. If they're paying the connection costs for the house for betterment, the alternative would be we need to cut down the connection costs and charge the betterment, move it, but as Dave points out, there are other mechanisms. Watch the planning program.
I'm thinking about those people whose cash flow is not very strong, and for them to come up with whatever number it is, it's going to be difficult versus a betterment where it's a yearly payment by year. That's how you tax. That would be easy to handle as opposed to like whatever number you pick, have a number to check out. It's going to be very difficult.
Also on the agenda, we'll mention we won't spend a lot of time on it because it's all new and being developed as we speak. The short-term rental tax as an option. We had discussed at the committee here potential financial management policy to capture new growth over a certain amount as a way to mitigate tax impacts. Or at least promise the taxpayers that if this pans out on the economic development side as we think, we will attempt to steward some of that growth. And the one that we've been talking about, where we haven't really had any specific, I still don't really have too much in the way of specifics, but I do know that I have been working with CBAC over the last couple of weeks to do a round 4 solar PV program, which Yama will be participating. So I gotta finalize that paperwork this week. If that were the case, we might have some solar revenues coming online in the next 7 years, which we could attempt to say we want to. Similar to that. Yeah, I have a number, but I don't. So, and then we'll have a slide here on the next steps, just to kind of reiterate what the key points are. So that's what I'm planning to build out in a PowerPoint. That's what I need to know. Is, if you have anything you'd like to add, you can tell me now, you can call me or email me in the next couple of days. You know, I can flesh those out. But how do we want this to go? And how do we want to present it? Kind of that feedback and know what's what.
I think they will cover things. Again, I think we're going to have even more questions and answers. I think we talked about the remarkable receipts of other potential funding sources. I think it also we don't know it. And that's the problem, unknowns. Either the source is unknown, the amounts unknown. We don't know what the rental tax is going to do. We don't know what the build-out revenue will be.
Yeah, I think intentionally I was planning on putting this together without a lot of specifics. We don't want to get bogged down. There's so much.
We can't. There's nothing.
You know, it took you guys a couple months to get up to speed. Now you want to update them. You get too many things.
No, I'm just thinking of questions they may ask of us.
Has anyone reached out to the representatives, some CEO authority to get might be available state federal grants based on the 3 times considered?
Mostly it's been working with Dave as to position myself for SRF funding and Dave getting up to them. Because Lee asked that question. Right.
Yeah, it's mainly the state revolving fund loans, which you should be able to qualify for 0% interest, which we discussed in the past. Yarmouth, for your collection system stuff, in the past, you've been an environmental justice community, you have a lower per capita income, so you've actually gotten, if you've gone forward with your previous round, you would have had less than 0%, to give you some flexible for business. And Representative Whalen was able to get a $1 million grant attachment to the environmental bond bill for DHY, which we're trying to figure out what has to be done going forward. First thing has to be done is to form DHY. That's what we can decide. But you know, those possibilities are out there, and you gain points in a competitive process by doing things collaboratively amongst the few towns when you're going after those SRF loans. Prime example is Harwich, when they applied for theirs, considered going into East Harwich because they're doing it and sending it to Chatham, so it's a collaboration with Chatham, ranked the highest on the SRF program. So those types of benefits are out there. Right now, those are the main programs.
I guess,
So they apply with most folks then?
Yeah, any collaborative.
but we're not aware of any ongoing federal program.
There are no other federal, the 10-cent dollar programs where the feds and states have been 75, 50, 90%. They're long gone, and I don't see them coming back.
Would it be prudent to start looking at quarterly costs going
So,
based on what we're trying to think about income?
that's an aside, and it's fun, I'm laughing because I've been through this earlier before, a few years ago when I was in the finance department. And we were asked to look at that, and our alternative, which we thought that was better, was a preliminary semi-annual tax bill. We need to send out the tax bill on July 1 based on the prior year. To get the benefit of it quarterly essentially. That would have to be for it, there's a lot of extra, you just go back over it. So I thought we made a compelling case to do that. The other thing we could look at. We haven't talked about this, but might be interesting comment for the selectmen. Assessing the property company. Yet, but we can look at the town, the water resource advisory, the community, and we don't have any sort of residential exemption. Provide tax free residential tax. Some communities have that. To imply, it's proposed for a number of reasons.
We have that now, so with that thing.
And those are abatements and exemptions for which we programs which we participate in. But a residential exemption basically shows that you're a resident, if you're not, about $500 or $1,000. The resident tax bill, property tax bill, that those $500 is not it's shifted to a non-resident residential tax bill or commercial. So, as an element of.
I mentioned that in spring, one of the things I told you was selecting on the public comment.
But
There's a lot of things that are changing now. But one thing is beyond operation.
I was going to say, normally something like that has really nothing to do with water resources and wastewater, except when you start talking about, now we can ask residents to pay a lot of money, how can you minimize that burden? Maybe you would be interested in residential exemption. But then you're going to have, especially if they're talking about betterments, commercial taxpayers, and the betterment, connection fees, and user charges based on disclosed. So how are they going to feel about now also having some shifts in the budget?
But I think from past experience too is the reason that a residential tax exemption will receive was because our business tax base is so weak already, that we don't want to make it worse than it is. But I think the idea if you can do a residential tax exemption versus a non-resident, I'm not sure.
Well, that's the calculation, our town's on the average,
That's
has
why
the
it's
exemption. And it's not based on the commercial tax base, it's based on the number of homes, 7% of the homes in the town of Washington.
On the other hand, now you have a Airbnb tax. Literally, not, the idea is not to calculate income, it's just taxing. Sort of approach to this. The idea is actually first paid by the person. For example,
No, residential, residential.
Once we get the, closer to a final financing plan, maybe we can examine that and say, hey, it's gonna cost our taxpayers X, and we can do an exemption to offset that, that would be the time to consider it. I'm not gonna add it to it, but I don't want money to
well,
go.
early yet. Yeah. Well, I think the other thing is not just wastewater, but the DPW garage coming up and school as well. Oh, school budget, but just the building. It's substantial. All right, so
So as far as our format, Mr. Chairman, I guess a suggestion might be, I'm sure you'd like to kick it off, would you like me to lead the selectmen through a presentation? And would anyone like to discuss it? And someone, obviously, who want to be there, you can let them know, if everybody would like to participate or just be available for questions or comments.
if anyone wants to speak, that's fine with me. Personally, I think usually if I were to introduce everything and then turn over to you and to whoever's going to be there, I think the flow is much better so that maybe jump in and do his my research, work piece and so forth.
So I'll finalize a draft of a PowerPoint, send it around, I'll send it to Dave. And we can look. And we can finalize something on the 22nd. Do we need to post, if they're just attending the selectmen's meeting, we don't need to post a committee. So,
Unless you're anticipating something like action.
What we've done is something is a passive vote, just because
There's no harm.
if nothing happens, it's not like we have to bring the employees to our presentation. We don't have to discuss our own.
I think we should come up with the cover memo and template for presentation. And then, the only ask I can think of is approval to move forward with the phasing plan. But is there anything else for which the group is looking for the selectmen's approval? Because it's nice to go in there knowing what you're looking for from the board
and so, yeah,
and let them know.
should have put that under next steps, but yeah, specifically, I didn't want them to approve the phasing plan, because technically we're an advisory committee, we're recommending to the board. We're giving Dave and CDM some direction on that phasing plan, we'd like them to affirm that. Other than that, it's almost one of those things where you're up to date and here's what we're saying, we were going to start doing some outreach, and so it's, tell us now if we have a hold of the piece type of thing.
And again, maybe it takes, what happens, I think some direction from them, what we should be looking at, what they're looking at. But, again, phasing wise and financing, I think those are the two most important things at that level right now. So maybe it's, as a town, not necessarily our committee, but as a town, we explore the wastewater, the RIC fund, the rental tax, what's the level, it's going to tax, the town's tax, and then it's going to be, what's the town want to make, the revenue towards wastewater, I think it may be above our level, but I think we need to things that, so if you go in this direction, this is where we think you want to see things. So the revenue is going to be very important, how we do this. So,
It's going to be a learning process. I think the first meeting, like, that question, second meeting.
Is this really going to be part of that?
Yeah.
So I'm just approaching this in the powerful, with the eyes of somebody watching television. Like, I'm glad with respect to my colleagues, if the generally utilize, retail 2011, some people don't know it's coming. And we get surprised. I think like everything related to everything that so we're in the wake of the school situation because of big controversy. So this is an attack not only to the selection, but it's an introduction to the one project this year to the plan to provide the color. So this project what we do so I like that. So, part one, the simplistic problem that try to do is to identify the service. So first we have to say, this is what it is. Assume no one knows everything. This is a determined with the tax code. So this part of the process is education. You know, like one people do it, you know, like this before. And the second part is the part that's the one college students that is drive. People that look at it, that's just like that. How much do you have tax? What's it going to be on tax? So that's part of the conversation. Make a break.
So, what it says, kind of when I approached this, so we've got an opportunity now with these. So, no. As soon as that happens, one of the, as I mentioned, one of the key things in here is a couple of the maps, but also the why are we doing this handout, which we already have. The next day, this kind of kicks off the whole effort about, so it's hard to do too much before we've done some of this stuff. As soon as we do that, just what you're saying, we can, without having formal meetings with anybody, without meeting with anybody, without going to different groups and all that, we can just do some basic, why are we doing this? And then those obvious questions that are follow that we got to get accepted. It makes a lot of sense.
Would this be considered a public meeting and selectmen's point of view with a big question from the audience? Just ask
Nothing. We don't know how to get questions.
What do you think? It would be advantageous, or I think it would be good for free for all.
Well, no, I don't think so. I think that you might see an element in town that fears about coming out to various sources and just wanted to go and get information. If they had questions, they perhaps do that with the ask questions. There should be tempers would be asking us up to the top. But I don't see any downside.
Part of our presentation would be the public point. You know, if you have questions or any questions, here's exactly how to get a hold of us. Part of our process, and I'm not sure exactly when it happens, it's definitely before a fall town meeting, so sometime during the summer, all of a sudden, it would probably be a public process.
I think, we did more of a workshop.
Yeah.
With the,
Well,
TV would be great.
Yeah.
But I wonder too, and I'm a little out of sequence, but another idea with public outreach is that if you have kind of an open email, a wastewater@yarmouth.com or rack@yarmouth.com, and have people, and push that out on Facebook and use that as the portal for any and all.
Yeah, one thing I was concerned about, and I haven't gotten around to it yet, we're gonna look into, doing something like a, constant contact, some other system that people could send. We have the notify me thing through the website. We could probably use that, but I was just gonna look at our options in that regard. We could sign up, and then we had information pushed out, we could use that as an outreach tool, to record names and addresses and emails of people that have interest in some information, as well as some of the other, chain agents and Facebook and other things.
But I think that's the best way, because people, they get busy lives and stuff, if they don't even know, they don't come back.
So I think
Yeah, just a couple things. I think it's important to try to find out how much time they actually are allotted for you.
It's gonna be.
Because if you open up to the public, you don't know where it's going, and I think your purpose of giving them the update is to get input from the selectmen, not necessarily from the public at that point. So if you're trying to maximize the benefit of the time slot you're getting, I think you should do it as an update and then input from the selectmen.
And then wait until the public, can send their questions.
Yeah, what they can do about Harrison.
Numbers that
They got a lot going on. There's nothing,
Do you have the,
medical clerk and all.
it's the business.
Doing some work stuff.
So they're gonna want.
Some library presentation, the fire police report, the budget reviews, going back to the country. There's something.
And it's over by now. You're right.
Well, I think,
So I say for public comment. I think it's a good idea at that level. I think it's better. So, provide an avenue for the public to ask questions.
Loudest way, if you have a group of people who are interested in hearing more, send us your information and we'll put you on the list, for part of our organized outreach.
Well, I'm hoping at some point we can get those flags together, cover flags with Alex and Vanessa. And I think that, I think it's got to be kind of that, like, people see, just, they take a minute and look at this. I think if we all do that, that is actually one. Yeah.
okay, I'll, get moving on this, and if anyone has any comments or suggestions, you can email, call me, or set up a time.
I think the other thing we need to do is have to expand our email list so people are regularly in touch with you. Staying somewhat up to date with what we're doing.
I think the best way to do that is with the notify me, because what the notify me will do is let people know when there's an agenda. If we can post a whatever, if we put the information on the website, they'll know there's something new on the website to go look at it, because I think it's difficult to manage when adding people as they come on a one-off basis.
Well, I'm not talking about just everybody in the world. Some of the groups that we want, that help it. Maybe if you go forward, that help people regularly update.
A message signed up for the drive-in flight, just as an example, to make sure it works. And, when there's something new posted, or I think Jeff, you use it for things like snow and ice. And when there's an alert, you get a message in your inbox. Is that effective?
Yeah, it could be. I think that you're able to get that down to some people can work that, especially and then people anytime we keep discussion on
Yeah, people can, I mean, and the thing with that is if people want to have it direct instant, they can sign it too. And it takes the burden off of Gail.
It's just that you can't get too complicated.
Oh, it's,
Because of,
that's a good point. That's a good
No,
point.
we can sign up for two on the back.
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right. I think that's all you need. Is the email.
The oath and scheduling. The other we get to the selectmen to get us a better direction.
So I think that Karen put together,
So we put together, it's the paperclip, set of information. We put together a couple of pieces. And I'd like first just to go off the big, 11 by 17 list. And so what we did was update the sheet that you all had reviewed previously, that has dates, and all those dates can change, obviously. And it's organized. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I look over your shoulder? It's clicked over. Oh, there's a, oh, sure, yeah, sorry. I'll trade you back. I'll give you a full size. You all had looked at this before, and it's organized by group of, kind of type of audience that would receive the outreach. And so the first group were top water users. I know we just updated that water information so that it'll be easily sortable. We can do a double check and we'll populate those. We just got that data organized this week. Individuals, interested parties. We had a group that included individual selectmen. Then the next section are community groups, so Chamber of Commerce is number one on the list, Mary. Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce, some of this needs to be completed. Kyle put it together for me, but we can outreach. Yarmouth Republican Committee, the Democratic Town Committee, the Rotary Club, Lions Club, Restaurant Association, Home Builders, Cape and Island Realtors, Historic Society, South Yarmouth Association. You all can read, but I think the idea is this is a start, and it's. I think that it's. It merits kind of some look and some thought, and if you think anybody should be included or maybe shouldn't be included, maybe you want to give some thought to prioritization on which groups you want to get to, because I think your concept that you were working with is using the committee to work in teams. So a couple of people would go out and talk to the Yarmouth Chamber of Commerce. A couple of people would go and talk to the Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce to kind of spread the load. It's a lot of meetings, it's a lot of meetings. But we have the contact information, which we should verify if anybody sees anything that's wrong. I know some of the associations change, membership changes. On the flip side, we've got some other groupings. We have condo associations, and we asked the assessor today. I'm sure that the assessor can go into the data in the assessing department and identify all the condos so that we can make sure we have those condominium associations. I don't think we have Foxwood, Halcyon, those were the two that came to my mind. So we're waiting on Andy for that. We have a list of town boards and committees, so we can arrange to get on their agenda. That might be a little bit trickier scheduling wise. And then there was a list for general public meetings, having one at the Council on Aging, or otherwise known as the Senior Center, the library, the town hall, disposal area, meet and greet. That's been a new suggestion. And then Kyle added and the list of the materials that you may think about distributing at these meetings. Center as a venue or as a group? I think it's great. And they have a great distribution list as well.
Is there a condo on Bucktown Road missing and
Which one? Okay.
no, it's also on Bucktown Village.
The South End, Buck Island Village is on the Little Pond is Little Pond Village.
Right, there's no condo in Bucktown.
I can't think of some, I couldn't, without going on the Google Earth this afternoon and taking a drive down Buck Island
Next time
Road.
I'm driving on
I
Bucktown.
wasn't gonna get it. Swan Pond Village is a great idea,
I think there's a lot of active people.
but we could talk to management.
Oh, sure. Well,
Um,
yeah, we'll be ready to have a conversation with somebody else, so.
I'm,
no question.
Well,
I think.
well, next might be able to give you the news stuff.
Okay. And that's a great venue for you.
As far as food, I just happen to be thinking about those that are on Lewis Bay, for example, Flower Beach Association, the Japan Association, the Englewood Beach Association.
Do you have, so it says here,
I will get the food.
that would be wonderful, because what, we were trying to establish through this process, which I think could be used for other town outreach efforts, is what I'd like to encourage, and I think it would be best received through the town administrator's office, is kind of an annual outreach. Hi, you want to stay in touch with town hall, who's the contact? And what's your contact information? And just update that annually. It changes, people move, people come and go. Contacts would be great. There's
This was new rock.
Well, there's two condos got listed, and and to be honest, Kurt, some of the kind of categorization may be off,
Yeah.
but there's also, and I think this was the starting list, this bigger sheet, which is actually a little more legible. Take a look at this one as well. It may be, it looks like it's a duplicate. But I think that what this larger sheet really does demonstrate too is we're gonna have a lot of scheduling to do and organize. If people are gonna reach out. I also don't know how these dates are gonna work with all the information that the group's trying to convey. If you don't have everything ready to go, or what are you gonna convey early on? You're gonna obviously be collecting more information as you go.
I would, just for talking it out for Karen, and you've done some other things, maybe not in front of a large group about it, some of that information. But we do know lots of stuff, and there's lots of stuff in the air. As far as reaching out to certain individuals, that might be useful to get their feedback before we start to finalize something. And so maybe we consider some areas.
To prioritize those.
The Euro term, And then so it's out there in the community, people are hearing it. And then as we get into a little more solid information, we can, or I've been out to a few people, maybe a couple times, and then we can find these groups and have a little more fine-tuned response. As well as hear the objections or the concerns from some individuals, and we can adjust accordingly before we get in front of a larger group of people.
So you're thinking more along the lines of either the top water users or individual,
No, I mean, we gotta try to touch all of these, but I'd like to start sooner rather than later, because as you said, it's a lot down here,
that's a lot of work.
and if we're shooting for a fall.
I mean, the best thing you can do is just let people know that you started the process again. There's gonna be a lot of questions being answered at this point, but just get them to know that this is ongoing and to pay attention and, more information is coming. That's a major first step.
I think it's part of that. I think that whoever you in the town. So that when we get done talking to somebody, or some small group of people, we say, if you have any questions, here's the email address back to the town hall, which will handle it. And then, I think it's helpful, because it's one of the things, I think we have a conversation, and does anybody got any questions under there? I'm all set.
Right.
And then after you walk out the door, you're like, no, I should have asked. I want to make sure people have that opportunity to.
Even if we,
talk that way. But I think with some of us, it could reach back to us individually, but I'd rather have a central process, and so the same answers going from the same person, but out to everybody. I don't know, people, one people in communities, so it's
kind of a myth, but I thought of it. We should get, we should just try to get to a lot of things. But even if I can give you guys a card, it wouldn't be a card, but an individual's name would just be something along the lines of, wastewater questions or water resource questions. Contact, give a number and an email, whether it's a specific name or a generic, so at least you're all giving out the same card, saying, it has the website, has the email, has the phone number, and various information.
Yeah, if you put that same information on channel 18, so it scrolls through,
Let people
you'll
want
see it there.
So little things you could look at, if you have a small handout, that we talked about similar to how it say, obviously that information will be on there also. You have a small card that's just, here, with some contact information, or you could have a small elevator speech type card, and same thing, have that information on that also. What do you think with that? Staff.
What's the next couple of weeks, some things will be.
So it's actually a good segue into under outreach. We also handed out tonight a first pass at frequently asked questions that we reviewed at the last meeting. Written around responses from Yarmouth now. The following, more or less the questions that came out of Harvard, a couple ones we deleted, as we discussed, but, so this is for your thoughts, comments, text. We can make it pretty and add some figures and this and that to it later. So you can just focus more on the text. You have the right question. You want to rephrase something, and just shoot comments back to you, and you can just go into me, or one of the things to talk about tonight, and this is new, and you want to take time to actually read it. We did want to get this out. No, I can send a Word document, anybody who wants to do
Yes,
that, send it back.
that's how this works.
Well,
I'm like, I would be like,
We got a long way to go.
And when we print it, don't worry, the font would be bigger.
Good point. Good point.
Is that comment more than once?
Yes, so we can email that.
Yep.
Talking about, the next meeting we finalize this, would this be something that you contemplate presenting to a supplement? Or just, not to go over, but just to hand out?
Yeah, at least put it in their packet so that they're familiar with it. They can say, if that's okay with them, then you can turn it into the brochure, put some figures on it. They want us to sit there and read this. Hand it to them out of the truck. It's got to have some figures on it and stuff like we did on the water resources brochure and some other things. But that's why I say I wanted to get this out to focus more on the text at this point.
Off only goes so.
That's when we figure the figures and this and that, we'll figure out the font size and all those other things. First step in the process. Sure. We handed out a 1x17. Tonight, hopefully everybody has a copy. These are there's 3 tables. We just keep it all in one for viewing purposes. We put it on the 11x17, but to walk through them individually. Based on the phasing plan, again, there's copies available for you on the latest phasing plan that you folks have given us. This is the flows that are generated from that phasing plan under the current build-out. Town staff is still working on some of the areas, particularly South Shore Drive and the village centers. But this is the build-out flow as it stands today. So you can see if you went through your first 4 phases, you're a little over 1.8. 1.8 million gallons. So a little over half. Looking at project out the DHY, they build the first treatment plant, they're building half, that's 1.6. Well, you're not going to get your build out flow immediately anyway, so 1.6 plus or minus, and those can all be tweaked down the road anyway. So it's in that, certainly that ballpark. You can see you've got some pretty good water users, particularly in the first 3 phases that have been picked up. So that we're going to factor into the largest water use in the first phase with 28 Industrial Drive. So that will certainly go into factoring into your cost recovery program. This is again just to refresh everyone's memory. It's the first phase. The Docker ground power is the first phase, which again is border to border on Route 28. And then down South Shore Drive, feeding up into the 28 area. The next table shows what will be done by those phases. Again, this is the County Yarmouth plan only. There's nothing to do with DHY. So this is your solving the issues all within the boundaries of the County Yarmouth. This is where Mr. Howard drove the last 14 Hopefully we're working on those to lower these costs. So this is sort of your base program. But you can see the left-hand column is the phase. Second from the left is the collection conveyance system, meaning that's we are putting the sewers in. Whatever type of sewer system is proposed, and then conveying that to the appropriate location. In this case, you're building a treatment plant at the Buck Island Road site, so you're incurring the significant cost of building your own treatment plant. And again, that would be in the 1.8 million gallon per day range, but it would be designed for expansion up to the full 3.2. So it's not like you're building, half the cost of it. You've got infrastructure that would go in that's common to the whole plant. but from a treatment and flow perspective, we're simply building from me. And then you have the effluent recharge, and that, most of the recharge for that is at the Buck Island Road site. And then in the future, phase 4 to handle the remaining 4 phases, you would expand the plant, and then you would build effluent recharge over at the Bass River Golf Course at that point. So you can see the vast majority, or 75% of the cost of your program is in your collection system. So just as a side note, that would always be under your domain, whether you're doing your own program or you're part of the DHY program. Those treatment plant and effluent recharge under this plan are under your domain, under your program. Should be doing DHY, that's the potential of those 100 million plus in general. Is where you have the opportunity to potentially be saving costs in your finance step. And again, these are in year 2022 costs, effective ahead being essentially the midpoint of the first phase of construction. Then the next table just lays out the overall 40-year program and when you would be requesting funds for that, just to give you not your 5-year capital plan, but your 40-year capital plan. That's how that lays out, doing 8 phases, roughly 1 phase every 5 years. And we broke it out. Our experience here anyway has been that you ask for design, permitting money, then you go back and ask for construction versus asking for both at once. So that's the way we put this together. That's all for discussion. We showed you the overall cost, I believe, at the last meeting. This provides the detail, backup. Kara and her staff have been punching over the last few days, weeks. So that cost is what we're going forward with. So yes, the selectmen's meeting, we continue to make sure that we're getting the buy-in on that phasing plan. That's the appropriate approach that we should be using going forward. In the meantime, that program is the one that's now being fed into collecting the cost for DHY. Because we have similar type of costs all up in the year 2022 for Madison Heights.
And these are just the accessible on Monday to the DHY.
So we can have to answer questions. If you have that. I know there's a lot of information there. Sit there, decipher, put yourself to sleep for a week, and come back and answer those questions at the next meeting, or shoot us an email with it.
The effluent recharge costs in particular is 1 to 4. Seem pretty close together. And 4, you said increase conveyance capacity of golf course. So a reconfiguration of the capacity with that, or
Yeah, we haven't, we don't know the cost. Yeah, we don't know yes, so it's cheaper to build. And hopefully we can get 2 million gallons out of Buck Island. So we then need to put 1.2 million back in at Bass River. We don't know yet the cost for the golf course and whether that would be factored into this or how that would be done. So we don't have any cost factored in for that at this point. That would all have to be discussed too. So it includes the force main from Buck Island over the Bass River and then essentially each of the systems underneath there.
that's the type of thing we might want to think about the timing. We'll discuss in terms of policy. Given the Army only solution, there might be some opportunity to still share part of that in price of it, and maximize capital development. That's just something.
Yeah.
So
on your plan to pass the golf courses.
So these are quite, right now, these are all assumptions that this is going to learn.
This is all, yeah.
So if we go to DHY and the first, how many things actually, let's go to Dennis.
So actually, back to the golf courses and the first. Why?
These first things.
On the portion of those, that is small, compared to the next week.
It's, I think it's actually the most. It's not a huge site, so it can go off. It's not that bad.
It's gonna go up to 12 hours with this one, and do it by backing up.
Yes, once we get those costs, we'll have side by sides. Absolutely. That's why I mean, this is your base case. Hopefully with all the other two options of going to DHY or including Barnstable, we'll lower those costs. No, we hope to have a DHY cost next week. So we'll be presenting all that to you next week.
David, if you got a presentation for the selectmen on an update, do you plan on including high level costs, you want to refer that to a follow-up?
Well, it'd be good to at least let them know, at least
Or not?
maybe that second thing was like a thing, because they know what you're dealing with on the costs. When you do your cost recovery, it's not funded.
And then we go forward. Sure.
We met with Lee and Dave on Friday. Looked at the Dennis cost recovery plan they had worked on, the narrative. So I'm gonna take a first stab at marking that up a little bit, and Dave's gonna put that together for us. So we'll start building out our cost recovery narrative and putting our tables and charts and things as we go.
I think we sent that out to everybody. Electronically after one of the last meetings. The Dennis update. Yes? No?
So we have that. One more question, the non-traditional technology, what is, that was stormwater?
We just have some allowances. I know you're doing
I
a
think it's
stormwater plan, but yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Yes.
stormwater at the town, like, we're all
We know you do a little bit of aquaculture with Dennis over in the Bass River, whether you want to try to expand that or not.
No, I think it's important to show what we're doing.
It's more than just putting pipe in the ground. We could, we've shown earlier phases sometimes to show that you've actually started things. We can find a way to work that into your tables for what you've already spent, what you're spending on Pocket River to show that you've started. That's an offset. So that's something to consider. This was done that in Harwich to show, the first year they went out to the Muddy Creek through Chatham. They're doing the Bank Street bogs, after like the attenuation, just to show that, hey, we're trying to do everything versus just one pipe in the ground.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I wouldn't, change phases of how we should be, maybe something different, but maybe some kind of vote or something. Actually, I think it's pretty fun. It's a lot of money.
So if you talk to Carl, is the update, I know he had been working months ago with the Barnstable. He was a good man, Bob, is anything further from him?
I think Dave has the board for that. You sit there in some of the meetings that we had with,
We had one meeting with a representative from the Division of Ecological Restoration, Alex Hackman. And one of the areas that Kyle would like to look at is the town's bog up off of Union Street. opposite Starbucks.
Starbucks.
So we discussed a few rough concepts of what might be considered up there. Because we're doing a similar project with all those same agencies in Harwich, on land owned by the Harwich Conservation Trust. And I understand the town isn't using the bog now due to potential for the water supply used to irrigate that bog. But the difficulty in spending a lot of money there, not that it should be put forth or considered through some program in the future, but sort of at the headwaters of the whole Bass River. So you could take out 100% of the nitrogen through that program, and you're taking out a pebble of the amount of nitrogen you can take out of the Bass River because there's not a whole lot of nitrogen feeding into that system. Is it a great site? It's beautiful. Keeps some nice passive walking trails. Restore it back to a natural condition. Where it's not going to be a cranberry bog anymore versus just letting different invasive species start to take the thing over. So that I think that's really was Kyle's pitch. Alex and I discussed a couple options. Alex came up with a rough concept. He didn't think it would rank highly because of the competition for the other projects right now in terms of getting any state grant funds. So we're moving forward. This is a concept plan out there now that if we felt some grant agency might envision funding it, something to put forth.
I guess that sounds like it's more of a wetland restoration project than it is a nitrogen.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good way to put it. So that's the only one I'm aware of.
That's fantastic.
I think that's it from our, oh,
Rather than, we'll start.
the Howard plan was actually before the Dennis plan. The Dennis is actually modeled around Howard. Howard had three components. One was to do the water infrastructure investment fund, which they have not done yet. It's still on their agenda, but I think they're waiting for the land bank in 2020 to run through. To use a user charge on water bills, but they didn't want to do that until they get users up and running. And so right now, the more major component is on the tax rate. And that was the first eye opener. It's after some group meetings there. And when they got back, they had we worked with their financial advisor. It's actually the same firm that works for Dennis. So they had the model set up when we went to do Dennis. But we gave them that third table we just gave. We laid out what the cost would be, when they would need it over the next 40 years. They put that in with all the other debt drop off for the town, or debt coming on for fire stations and doing some of the harbor work and some other things there. And they came up with what the tax impact would be, putting it all in the general tax rate. And when the selectmen and the subgroup all saw that, $350,000 assessed home is going to be an impact of about $300 a year, we said, that's what we're going with right now. And when we do the same thing in Dennis, they're using the solar money. They're increasing their rooms tax, and then they're doing the water infrastructure investment fund, which they're already getting ready to put their articles up at town meeting this coming spring. So they plan to go forward with that. Their program is to split it, as was Howard, go from 3% to 1.5%. And then the rest in Dennis would go on the tax rate. And their first phase was increasing less than $300 And the average over the whole program is $450 on a $350,000 assessed home. They felt comfortable that those first three took enough off, but the rest is on the tax rate, and that's part of the, everyone's contributing to the problem, so everyone's gonna help pay for it, and everyone benefits from the solution. So, I sat there, and there were two finance committee members on the subgroup, and when we rolled out the drafts from their financial advisor, literally their mouth dropped. They said, I thought it was spending thousands of dollars. You see what those numbers were when you spread it across the whole town. They thought it was so much more palatable to do it that way. I'm not professing one way or the other, Tom. I'm just getting the background of how they got it.
Again, I'm gonna say that what I said before is that the phase one costs cannot be borne by the phase one users. It's financial cost. And considering the fact that phase one is not just phase one. Remember this, you have 4 phase plant and whatever the pipe is gonna come, that's gonna be phase one.
Did you reach into those A, B, and C's relative to phase one?
I would have talked about, I think I would start by using number 1, 2, 3, 4, that's what the pipe is. And then if you end up with a 1A, 1B, I think, yeah, then you can take up some of that. Let's do that, we'll do that.
That's all we need to.
Yeah, there was just an article in the paper the other day.
Yeah, they, I'm just gonna follow up with, John, finance director there, just to get their input. Yeah, you know, I think you understand what they did, that they did the flow-based, you know, per unit betterment program.
The whole city industry.
Yeah. Yeah, they focus, and I would encourage you to as well, focus on your first 1 or 2 phases. Try to figure out how this program's gonna fit for everything going 40 years out, this and that. You know, just, again, go back to your water system. You hate for your water system for multiple units. And who knows what the funding programs or whatever's gonna be, just look back 20 years, try to look back and then project 40 years. You know, so focus on trying to get the first 1 or 2 phases built and funded. And figure out what you can do. You can always modify it going forward.
You know, the better idea is your revenues, potential revenues are gonna be from hopefully economic development, not other things. Okay, so I guess we move on to future agenda items.
More of the same.
Future meeting dates, we have at the bottom of the agenda, so we'll have a meeting on the 22nd. And we can select on the 29th. We'll do it down on the 12th.
We set, meeting to substitute. The problem on 22nd, 12th is fun. Some point, there's gonna be a lot of number of companies that will be reaching out to, like a financial advisor. And do. So, they do have some like, pressing, by some, the other week, meeting,
And we can just set, you do it Tuesday, you can do it on the first and third. February 19th. Figuring that you'll get Or do you want to meet earlier, figuring that you get guidance from the selectmen, so what's the guidance tell you, so you want to do the 5th and then skip the 19th? That's your call.
So we got the 12th.
The 12th, so we could go.
Well, you've been doing the 1st and the 3rd, so the 5th and 19th.
To me, it seems like the only reason to meet, if you got a lot of number crunching to do it, just do it, preliminary outreach materials. Other than that, I'm not sure we would be doing something.
Scheduled for the 12th. So we'll leave it at the 12th and see where it goes.
And I think, yeah, I don't think we do 2 weeks. We want to, well, we wait to see how things are going. Otherwise, it's kind of needing some kind of knock off for February.
The buffering.
Yeah, true. If we don't have conferences. Anything else?
No big for a while, so I'm back for a while.
What's not?
I wasn't down yet.
All right, one thing I neglected to do, this is Charlie Hallway from the Board of Health. So, he was joining us from the, so I don't know who you will, how you do.
I told him.
After going through all of this, maybe I'll sell it on that. I'll work that book.
All right, I think that's it. Anything else? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.